Ah. Can you guys hear me? I'm using a new program. I'm not really sure how it's working, so can you guys hear me? Using hear anything? Program. Any audio? I'm not really sure how it's working, so can you guys hear me? How's the levels? Using hear anything? Program. Any audio? I'm not really sure how it's working, so can you guys hear me? How's the levels? Using hear anything? Program. Any audio? I'm not really sure. So I'm using this, what is this, OBS? It's some kind of streaming software. It should make this a little bit easier. The audio I'm not sure about. I think I'm getting audio. Okay, so the buzz. Is there still a buzz? Or it should make this a little bit easier. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic audio. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic audio. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic audio. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic. Okay, back buzz. I have my speech off. Let me see if I can fix this then. Because I'm using both the audio from the webcam and the mic. Is any of this making it better? Is any of this making it better? Is that better at all? Is any of this making it better? Is that better at all? Let me go look and see what this sounds like on my laptop. Is any of this making it better? Is that better at all? Let me go look and see what this sounds like. So it is like dead silent in here right now, which is really strange. I'm not doing anything different. So it is like dead silent in here right now. Let me see what this sounds like. I could just go back to a different way of doing this. This is so confusing. I'm sorry for being so awful at this. Let me see what this sounds like. I could just go back to a different way of doing this. This is so confusing. I'm sorry for being so awful at this. Let me see what this sounds like. I could just go back to there's just like this background. This is so confusing. I'm sorry for being so awful at this. Let me see what this sounds like. I could just go back to there's just like this background. This is so fuzzy. I'm sorry for being so awful at this. Let me see what this sounds like. I really have no idea what that is. My mic is actually completely off right now. It's not plugged into anything. I really have no idea what that is. My mic is actually completely off right now. It's not really weird or anything. Yeah, there's just that buzzing in the background. My mic is actually completely off right now. It's not really weird or anything. Yeah, there's just that buzzing in the background. There's that buzzing in the background. My mic is actually completely off right now. It's not Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Oh, that does sound better. Yay! Man! Is it fixed? I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I might do like a test hangout some other time just to kind of figure out the audio because I'd really like to use my lapel mic. I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to figure this out. It sounds a lot better. I might do like a microphone hangout, but I guess I'll just have to figure that out. Figure out the audio because I'd really like to use my lapel mic. I am so sorry. So Bart says it sounds a lot better. I might still looping. Microphone hangout. How is it still looping? Figure that out. Figure out the audio because I'd really like to use my lapel mic. I am so sorry. So Bart says it sounds a lot better. I might still microphone hangout. How is it still looping? Figure that out. Figure out the audio. I like to use my lapel mic. I am so sorry. So Bart says it sounds a lot better. I might still use my hangout. How is it still looping? You know what? Let me. I'm still here. You need to mute your YouTube preview. So Bart says. So KUB Studios. Oh. Tom, I have been Googling this crap all morning. These live streams are not as intuitive as you think. So are we totally good now? Okay, cool. So for anyone that, wondering what's happening, so I'm using, what is this, OBS, which is like Open Broadcast Studio or something like that. And I literally installed it like 15 minutes ago. And so it syncs up with the encoder on YouTube and it kind of feeds back. So actually me just having this chat open, yeah, it's silly. It's really weird. But anyway, how's everyone doing on Happy Father's Day? So Kim isn't with us today. She's actually out on a business trip right now, which is kind of a bummer. So it's just me. So unfortunately, I'll be trying to answer all the questions and everything you guys have. So yeah, just go ahead and let's talk about stuff. And if you don't have anything to talk about, I've probably got a couple things to show you. So yeah. Team screw up. Yes. I am not a father. We do not have any kids. And the Geroni, I don't know how to say that, but yes, me and my wife talked a little bit last night, and we were kind of discussing some things, and I'm pretty positive I'm going to be doing a heavyweight. I'm going to apply for the next season of BattleBots. And I think this is what's going to happen, but I think we're going to do a heavyweight crippling depression. I want to do a 250-pound crippling depression, so that should be pretty cool. I have kind of some basic designs set up for it, but yeah, I want to do a 250 cripples. So FYI, I have the spam or like offensive comment filter turned on. So Mike, I'll go ahead and show your comment, but just FYI, I've got the offensive comment thing turned on. So okay, so Cup Studios, yeah, awesome, cool. So Pierce, I'll be talking about you later. I need to get better at this whole live streaming thing. I might want to get a better webcam. I actually might want to switch my big camera out so I can actually move this thing around on the tripod. That'd be pretty cool. So let me see if I can keep up with questions. Kim is not here to help me out. Tom, yeah, you can ask about embedded hardware. I don't know if you're going to get the answer that you want. I primarily know a lot more about hardware and kind of the how things integrate and what's out there, but sure, ask away. I might not know though, so just so you know. So let's see. Lalith was asking about a 100-pound crippling depression. Yeah, I'm not going to do a 100-pound. There's no 100-pound competitions here in the U.S. It's really only 120 and then 250. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with the 250 for BattleBots. How is the new U.S. electronic? Samuel asked about the tariffs. it really hasn't affected anything. Basically, all of our stuff is bonded and we have a locked-in price. If anyone wants to know about the wonderful world of electronic supply chain, we can talk about that somewhere else, but that's kind of a big part of my day job. And yeah, we basically do bonded purchases, so everything is set up for, like, 6 to 12 months out, and we basically buy it ahead of time, and so that's how that works. So really not seeing any of that yet. TML asks if I have water jet. I don't. I have an NDA with a couple companies I can't mention, but there are some water jets in development, kind of at the low cost, home hobby use. Nothing's really come out yet, but maybe someday you could see a water jet in here. Maybe. It's a long shot. Yeah, so Jake asked about Tormach M. I've got the 0440 back there. I am talking with Tormach right now. I am looking to get an 1100M. So cross your fingers. I really need to be doing bigger stuff. So yeah, I'm really hoping to get the 1100M. So Tom B asked about what microcontrollers. So I don't use any microcontrollers. If you look at the crippling depression electronics video, you can see that there's pretty much, there are microcontrollers in there, but they're basically just on the speed controllers. I'm not really doing any kind of microcontrollers on top of that. I am looking to do some kind of autonomy or something like that, but I just haven't yet. I think an Arduino would probably be just fine. Just keep it nice and simple. But yeah, it's basically just, Atmel chips really is what's in the ESCs. Yeah, and I use SolidWorks for everything. Let's hope no one talks about the green animal themed. Team Screw Up, what are you talking about? The green animal themed robot. What are you talking about? Yeah, so Lilith was asking about unbalancing the motors. How did I come to the conclusion? Well, that's a good question. It's really just kind of math. So the motor itself is like 370 grams. I'm adding, I think, 3.5 grams to it. Some on the shell, some on the inside. And so really at the end of the day, you're adding like 1% extra weight. It all have to be on one side to really get it that unbalanced. So you're just not adding really a significant amount of weight, and then you're throwing on an 8-pound piece of steel that's also not perfectly balanced. So it's just kind of a non-issue to me. So about the combat strength thing. Tom B, I want to order this Wednesday. When they will quote them. Yeah, so the 20th is when Tormach is apparently going to be, some of this is under NDA, so I can't really talk about it too much, but the 20th is when they're kind of officially announcing it. That's when the new version is coming out. I don't know exactly if they're going to be shipping it at that point, but they actually have some reasons to start shipping them actually quite soon. They're transitioning stock away from the non-M series over to the new M series, so that was kind of a forced transition for them, so that they're not going to be waiting it out for 6 months. They really have to transition to the new versions. Oh my God, Terra Turtle. Oh God. I think my wife put up with that a lot better than I will. I'm just going to ignore all that. So, yeah. Quote on the 20th, and we'll ship, within 2 weeks. That's pretty cool. So yeah, like, I don't know if you guys can see this. So down here is crippling depression. So I've been working on version 2. So this is a fully 3D printed version of it. I've got basically all the panels. I've got the front all 3D printed out. So these new pieces are just PLA. It's just kind of like a functional test to see how everything fits together. I've even been using the laser cutter to laser cut some of this stuff. And I have kind of a functional version of it right now. But these pieces are really big and way beyond the size that I can handle on the 440, so I'm really hoping to get the 1100 soon. If I don't get the 1100, I'll just make a new fixture plate where I can cut the new parts on there, but I'm really hoping, because these are all designed for the travel on the 1100. Let's see, I need to get caught up. Nice work on the Stratasys. What soldering iron do you use? So I use primarily this guy, which is a Hakko. Let's see if we can see that. I use a Hakko FX 951, and I have another Hakko as a backup. So I use both of those for pretty much everything. I really, really like the 951. I like the wands, I like the handles, I like the tips. So yeah, 951 is the one that I go to. It's relatively expensive. I want it's like $250, $300, but they make a $100 one that is very good. So I recommend the Hakko in place of the Wellers and stuff. Definitely spend the money on that. I actually have a 20-year-old Hakko sitting around here somewhere, and it still works like the day I got it. So. Have I ever? So let me try and catch up. God, Kim's actually really good at this. What was your question, Jeevan? I am sorry. Let me scroll back up and see what your question was. So if you want to re-ask that question, let me know. So Lilith was asking if I can share the files for Crippling Depression on Thingiverse. I'm not really sure. I was actually going to share everything for Crippling Depression, but I think after AVC, I'll share all the files. I really don't want to start competing against myself, and I really don't want clones for me battling. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to compete at AVC and make some tweaks for Motorama, and then, as I said previously, this will end up becoming the platform for the 250-pound that I will hopefully submit to BattleBots, and at that point, like, I'm okay submitting the design. So yeah, just not yet. I just don't want to fight against myself. TML Productions, what kind of solder do I use? I actually use, I have it on my spool. It's a lead-free, but it has a high level of antimony in it. Antimony is a really nice metal that makes lead-free solder flow better. I've had it for a long time. Me being kind of in the industry, I contacted one of my reps, and he gave me just this spool of like the best solder out there, and it's actually pretty good. It's lead-free, but it feels a lot like leaded solder, which is nice. Footprint of my workspace. So see if I can kind of show this a little bit. This is my shop. It's really, really messy right now. So this is kind of what my shop looks like. It is a garage, so it's a 3-car garage, and it's about 850 square feet. So it's actually a pretty large space. And I don't know if anyone saw, but in the back I have a new 2010 press back there, so I got a hydraulic press now. I'm going to start doing some maybe sheet metal stuff. So yeah, but it's a big garage. It's also deeper. It's also deeper than normal. So yeah, there's a lot of space out here, which is pretty cool. Man, you guys ask a lot of questions. Share everything for the 250 side. No. So KUB Studios, what are you building? Are you planning to submit to BattleBots? Ah, cool. So I meant to ask in the Facebook group, what are you using for cam? So Tom, I am using HSM Express as my cam. It's basically the same cam package that is in Fusion 360. It's just much more scaled down. It's the free version of the cam that comes in Fusion 360. So I use the HSM Express plugin for SolidWorks, and then if I do something complicated like these 3D contours that I'm going to be doing for Crippling Depression, any of those 3D contours I take and export the solid into Fusion and then use the cam in Fusion. So yeah, basically HXM Express or Fusion 360. Oh, Jeevan, I am not seeing your question. What is your question? I'm not seeing it, sorry. Oh, fully autonomous Omnibot, that's pretty cool. Nice. So let me scroll back up a little bit. Jake was asking, am I still good with the bandsaw? Actually, no. I think the bandsaw is just fine, but I hate admitting this, but I feel like I'm doing something wrong with it. I'm getting a ton of squealing, a ton of chatter, and it doesn't sound good. I'm getting like these cuts that just look like it's chewing in, and I got a really nice blade. I got like the most recommended blade for this bandsaw, and it looks like it's just chewing the aluminum. I'm not getting as clean of cuts as I was on my old bandsaw, so I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. I think maybe my blade is not aligned or something like that. I need to do some tuning with it, but I was cutting some stock this weekend, and it was just, I mean, it's just chewing through it, and that's my compressor. Sorry about that. So Jeevan is asking, everyone are using drum spinners, they're mainly the most powerful weapon. Well, so Jeevan, the drum spinner is not necessarily the most powerful weapon. I think it's like maybe easier to implement. I mean, it really depends, but every weapon can be very powerful. I mean, Spectre has a really great crusher, Beta has a really good hammer. It just really depends. Drum spinners, from a manufacturing standpoint, manufacturing a drum and putting some teeth on it is a relatively easy way to make a weapon. I mean, it's all pretty difficult, but it's just an easier way to make the weapon, and spinning it around an axis. Yeah, and Team Scrup, rock, paper, scissors, 100%, exactly. Yep, it's rock, paper, scissors all the time. So hopefully that kind of answers your questions. There's no one biggest weapon or best weapon. You can do a bar spinner, you can do a disc, you can do a vertical. They're all pretty good. It just depends on what you're trying to do and if you're implementing it the right way. So David, you were asking about, were you really wanting to know what kind of solder I use and what kind of lengths of wire I use? Let me know. I will tell you. Let me see if I can find this stuff. Actually, the solder I use, I think SparkFun still carries it, so you might want to look at there. But basically, just look for any lead-free solder if you want to go lead-free that has antimony in it. I forgot what the abbreviation for antimony is, but that actually helps lead-free solder flow a lot better. So just FYI. Hello, Soren. We need to get Kim back in these. She does a lot better job of answering all the questions. Okay, so Tom, if you get a fourth axis, you'll have to adjust the same. So Tom, what issue are you having? So Jeevan is asking, can we program a brushless ESC to brushed? I believe so. I've never done it. Yes, but not all of them. Yeah, you can reprogram a brushless ESC to brushed, but it's really not the right application. I've seen it done a few times, but it's kind of more complicated than you want. Okay, so Tom is talking about fourth axis. So fourth axis gets a little bit complicated. So what you can do is if you're trying to turn something like this, let's say, all the way around, is an axis projection where it just kind of like takes that path and folds it down. So it's like you're moving like this, but instead of moving the y-axis, let's say, it just moves this instead. So I think that's just kind of the easy way to do that. So you're talking about HSM Express. Have you tried doing this in Fusion 360? Because Fusion 360 has all the cam features you could ever want, and you can just take an IGES file or something like that and export it directly into Fusion. I forgot exactly what file type it wants, but you can just take those files directly into Fusion. You should be able to use Fusion for it. It works with the big ticket, okay. So Jeevan is asking about flashing Simon K rather than BL Heli. A lot of people ask this. A lot of people think that BL Heli is the best thing on God's green earth, and why would I use Simon K? Well, for drive, for combat robots, for some reason, Simon K is just preferred. It has better low-end startup torque, something like that. I guess BL Heli has better actual regulation once you get up to spinning, but Simon K is generally better at getting things spinning, which is very important in combat robots. So for whatever reason, Simon K is just kind of the preferred for combat robots. Oh, Pierce. Thank you for answering that. Awesome. And Nicholas, you're very welcome. And I apologize to everyone if I'm not seeing all of these. It's tough to kind of, there's a delay on the video, so it's actually kind of weird that there's a few seconds from when I see the comment to where I'm responding, so apologize for that. I'll have to just get Kim back. She'll be here next time. Yes, Dapper Rogue asked if I was able to flash Simon K on the Hobby King Super Simple 190s. Yeah, I had no issue with that. I've got them somewhere over here on my desk. Let me see where I put those. Yeah. Oh wait, I lied. Can put the chat into slow mode. Well, isn't that interesting? I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So actually, Super Simple 190s, I didn't put Simon K on these. I lied. I didn't actually reprogram these at all. However, it should work out, just so you know. And yes, I am drinking tea. This is a cranberry orange black tea, I think. Oh, thank you. I don't talk about my Crocs. I hate them. They're actually a really good workshop shoe, though. It's a really great shoe to have out here in the shop. So, because I go in and out a lot between here and the house, and you know, because my office is right inside the house, and so like picking up chips and stuff like that, it's really nice to have a shoe that you can just kind of slip off. So, don't judge me by my Crocs, please. TML, yeah, I think it is just the standard stuff. Let me look on SparkFun really quickly. I think it is the lead-free on SparkFun. Let me see. Yeah, the special blend. So yeah, if you look up on SparkFun and you find any of the special blend, I believe that is the stuff. Yeah, SB is antimony. So look at the special blend. Fun fact, that was a product that I started carrying, and I did the description for that special blend. Yeah, best solder in the world. Yeah, it's true. And yes, you are 100% right. Crocs are terrible until you drop something on your foot, which, yeah, I totally understand. I go in and out of the shop so much, I need something that I can kind of slip on and slip off, so fair enough. Do you know how to control a robot with two brushless motors using a radio without mixing features? So Nicholas was asking about that. I assume you're talking about the drive. You can look for mixers, V-tail mixers. FingerTech has one. Just look for a little mixing thing. It's just a little tiny guy. I don't have one right here, but it's just a little tiny guy that you plug in line, and you can actually do the mixing outside of the radio. I would highly recommend getting a radio with mixing, because that's one more thing that could fail on your robot. But you know, if you don't have a radio with mixing, you can just get a little mixing module. Check out FingerTech. I think they have one. Who do you think will win? Ooh, I'm going to come right back to that one. Who do I think will win BattleBots 2018? Oh, that's That's hard. Tombstone's looking, I hate to just say Tombstone, but Tombstone's looking really good. And I don't think no one's really thought about how to beat him yet. Everyone's kind of trying to do the same thing. They just go up to the weapon, get hit, get spun around, he hits him from the back, and no one really understands the whole sweeping thing, how he's giving you the wheel and then sweeping around. I know it's like harder in the heat of battle, but people just really aren't figuring out how to fight him. But David Small, I mean, yeah, Team Small Robotics, Bronco's looking good. So I don't know. There's a lot of Sawblaze. Yeah, Sawblaze is fantastic. I see Sawblaze getting up there. I see Bronco doing some good things. I don't know. There's really going to be down to, there's a lot of good fights. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, Sawblaze, I think Sawblaze could be good. I almost want to see Sawblaze win because it's the only design that beat Crippling Depression. So if it wins BattleBots, then it's like, oh yeah, there's a really good reason why I lost. But yeah, I think Sawblaze has a really good chance too. Oh, and Brian, yes. Chomp was very, very strong, or not very strong. They were very weak. They did not put on a good show at all. All right, so someone's name that I can't pronounce. You missed my question. Let me scroll back up. Can you do a DIY brushed ESC using? Yes. So JY Jashtman Burali? Man, I am so sorry about that. Yeah, you can do a custom ESC. I mean, if you look at